What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Cure. And we're going to listen to another tune from the second bonus disc included in the deluxe edition of the 1979 album Three Imaginary Boys. Thank you to Philip once again. And the track is Play With Me, which is listed as a studio outtake, presumably meaning it was never actually released until this deluxe edition or maybe, some other compilation, but was not released contemporaneously, meaning at the time, and was essentially something they played with in the studio but then disregarded or just, put in a vault somewhere. But yeah, the phrase play with me, I suppose that depends on how old you are, the connotations. If you're a little kid, it essentially means running outside like a crazy person with your friends. If you're older, it could certainly have sexual meanings. It could also just be about improvising and trying some different things with another person and seeing what sticks or what works. Obviously, there could be other meanings that I'm not privy to. Let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is The Cure. The track is Play With Me, and it's a studio outtake from their 1979, or the deluxe edition of their 1979 album, Three Imaginary Boys. Could also be about playing instruments, right? It's like echo.
Sometimes I become a disobey, but only when you want me to. Don't need to cage me to close all the doors. As long as you keep me, I will always be yours. Play with me. Play. Picture me to brush your hair and tell you that you are so very beautiful. The whisper in your ear and on my knees, I tell you that you are desirable. Don't need to cage me to close all the doors. As long as you keep me, I will always be yours. Won't you play with me? Play.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I like the guitar work a lot. It's sort of like strummed and plucked in the sound, mixing with the bass work really well. I like those drum flourishes, and I really like his vocals. This is like the third or fourth track where this has stood out to me. The way he'll disregard the specific beat and measure structure, meaning if you were looking at like modern music production software, it's like the grid, right? Like the beats is part of the larger measure, and normally sounds come in certain places, including the vocals, but he'll sort of extend beyond or outside of where the voice parts should be. And whenever he does that, it really stands out in a good way. It's like a very notable feature of their tunes because it emphasizes what he's saying more. And so obviously the vocals also were very echoed and almost, what's the right word? Not cavernous, because it didn't sound like it was like this big open space, but it sounded like they were sort of phasing from different sides of your head, left, right. I don't know if it was actually panning left, right speakers, but it was echoed and it felt like it was going back and forth. So there was almost like two people talking. It was like his own voice in his head and his actual voice externally is what it felt like. And if I caught the lyrics correctly, it sounds like a very devoted and maybe even asymmetrical or one-sided relationship. He sounded like he was saying, you don't have to kiss me, just close the doors, and as long as you want me, I'll always be here. But it sounded like there was no necessary love coming the other way. Like he's going to be committed to this person come what may, and even if the other person is indifferent or a bit lackluster about it. So yeah, I feel like there's maybe some lines that I didn't catch in full, but something about whispering in their ear and them being desirable, but maybe not knowing what the response to that was. So yeah, curious to know if it really is, and I guess that would fit with the title. Like, play with me is an entreaty, it's a request, it's a desire, but if you're saying that to someone, they're not already interacting with you, they're not already engaged with you, you're trying to encourage them to do so. So yeah, perhaps that was the essence of it, that it was a very devoted and desirous type of sentiment, but one with not a necessary reaction to, at least by the time the lyrics are expressing themselves. So yeah, cool tune. I'm surprised that this wouldn't have ended up as a B-side or something. I suppose the echoed vocals, it feels like they were playing around with it in the studio, in the sense that when I did was it just called like it was just the studio demo of the Boys Don't Cry. Yeah, the studio demo of Boys Don't Cry, the voices were very echoed, and then the actual like bonus track, the like released version of that, definitely had more like true vocals. So I wonder, if that's just something they did in some of the demos, and then if they decided to really produce a track to the full, they'd then re-record the vocals with a more direct sound. I'm not sure, but either way, yeah, a fun one. I enjoyed the instrumentation somewhat. Maybe not as much post-punk as a couple of the others that I've heard, but still with that kind of raw, like natural instrument sound, not so much a synth sound, a keyboard sound, which before the Cure deep dive, if you had asked me, what do you know about the Cure, I would have said very, very little, but I think, aren't they like an 80s kind of synth group, for the most part? So already the opening part of this Cure journey has expanded my horizons as to, who they were from the very beginning. So in any case, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.